Time are not overcome by space and time, but by spacelessness and timelessness, which means that space and time collapse into one another and become equally directional to zero time. By that, a few fractions of a second are enough to rush through billions of light years, practically without loss of time, because zero time neutralizes space and time simultaneously. I have to say something here. On my camera, you can't see them, but I have buttons. I have pause buttons and stop buttons and camera buttons. They're all on the right side, and I have to move the camera. I'm actually reading from my camera, not the book. And I have to move the frickin' thing out of the way so I can actually see the words sometimes. Sorry about that. Many deceivers pretend they are in contact with other planetary human beings of your solar system and having flown with or in their ships. That is nothing more than false, as most of the star planets are indicated. So something that human life is not possible there. Other planets in this solar system, on the contrary, are, I would say, long since dead of life and are in the first stages of developing something. Still, other solar systems have manifold life, and not only human. The forms of life are various, of human and animal sort. Also, many animal-like or even plant forms of life have developed to higher states. So there exist sorts which acquired much knowledge and freed themselves from their life regions, and they also travel through the universe and here and there come to Earth. Many of them are rather nasty contemporaries and live in a certain barbarism, which is still worse than yours. You ought to be on your guard before these, because they are often attack and destroy everything that comes in their way. They even have destroyed whole planets or beaten their inhabitants into barbarous bondage. This is one of our missions, to warn the Earth humans of these creatures. Let this be known to humans by cause more than time approaches, when a conflict will these become unavoidable. A further mission is aimed at your religions and connected under development of the human spirit. About everything there remains but one that possesses the power of life and death over each creature. This is the creation, irrefutable and of eternal validity. The human beings recognize them in nature when he troubles himself to do so. They expose for him the way of life and the way to spiritual greatness, embodying the goal of life, while humans indulge in his religions, and by this hearsay pines more and more away in spirit, which finally leads to a bottomless abyss. The human being may recognize that God can never the part of creation or destine the fate of human being. A God is only a governor, and moreover a human being who exercises a powerful reign of tyranny over his fellow creatures. God is not the creation, but as well only a creature of it, like all creation, dependent creatures. But the human being hunts for his religious wrong beliefs, and affirms God being the creation in itself. He goes even further and pretends a normal earth man by the name of Emmanuel. This is going to piss some people off, who is also called Jesus Christ. It's God's Son and the creation itself. Still, different sects of the new time go on to maintain these same things, which already approach delusion. Yet, as already mentioned, beam-shit deceivers also walk in the same direction and very clearly put the lie to the world that we or our brothers and sisters from other planets of the cosmos would come at the order of God, with whom they mean the creation, as angels or similar, to bring the earth human the long hope for peace and the truth of religion and the protection and order of God. That is nothing more than a well-considered falsehood from sectarians and deceivers, for we never had such orders, and we as well will never do that. The creation itself gives the commands because it embodies the greatest power in this universe, and never is in need of commands or religions. Religion is only the primitive work of human beings in purpose to lead them to suppress them, and for exploitation to which only spiritually deficient life can fall. Bring this truth to the light of the world and make it known. This is a further part of our mission. If this does not happen, then mankind will slowly destroy itself and fall into complete spiritual darkness. We know that you are aware of secret old scriptures whose origins were unfortunately destroyed by carelessness of our commissioner, who was your friend, who by regret has failed in fear. Diffuse and spread the translation of this scripture, because it is the only one which is authentic truth. And as we know, you also write about this scriptum untruth. To us it seems to be the most important book to be written, but it will be harsh in language and will meet with hate. It only offers the truth to the earth humans through some speculations are in its, but it is finally able to destroy for many the madness of religion, or at least to temper it very deliberately. It is an extraordinary work, and you ought to make it accessible for human beings. God, this is getting long. For the first time I have told you all necessary, but I cannot enough that way. Many further contacts will follow after this first, and I will call on you and give a point of time, but also by means of thought transmission, which you call telepathy. I will get in contact with you, transmit the further information. Do not worry, I will do this at unsuited time, but only when you want it. I know to regard your character, and I will independence, and thus I shall direct myself to you. The time will come to you when we will meet together in my beam ship, and also when you will be allowed to undertake flight towards cosmic space with me. But for this time, next time, such will not be possible, but due to certain circumstances and regrettable occurrences, this is not advisable. It really sucks that that frickin' side's cut off. About this I will inform you at a later time. Detail. So live well until the next time, but when I will give you further important information. But then conversation should no more be so one-sided as today, when I had to explain to you. In the future, each conversation will be quite normal, like as usual, with questions and answers. See you again. Until soon, I say hello. I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, well, that's not so bad. I guess we finished that first contact. It goes on to some more notes, and since this, I will tell you that all these books over here, for the most part, these photocopied ones in the binders and the 2 photo journals, I attempted to acquire in the 80s. And if I can actually turn that thing around. I don't need to know if you can see me, because I'm looking at the back of my phone. But I originally acquired, I had a national book company trying to find the first photojournal. This is back pre-internet, pre-digital age, pre-eBay, pre-Amazon, where you can buy it all with a click of a button right now. But I found in a rare bookstore the Preliminary Investigative Report, Volume 1 by Colonel Wendell Stevens, around 500 pages. I purchased it for $90. A collector found out I had bought it, and he had Volume 2 of the photojournal. And he had the message volumes, I think, 1 and 2. And we worked a deal. I traded him the original Preliminary Investigative Report. He traded me for Volume 2 of the photojournal. And I made a deal with him to photocopy. I gave him $50 a piece, plus it cost me the copy of to photocopy each page these books. And they're like 500 pages a piece, plus. And I'll give you something. Say hi, Chloe. Say hi, Chloe Ann. And Henry. Say hi, boy. All right, I'm going to get off here. I hope you enjoyed the first contact. Take care.